Hey guys, what's up? It's Ashley. Welcome back to my channel. Today we are going to be doing some recs for my all-time favorite trope, which is the single parent trope. I have mentioned before, once or twice, that the single parent trope holds a very special place in my heart, as when I met my husband, he was the single father of a 3-year-old boy. So that is my life. I love the single parent trope, so I have a ton of recs for you, so let's just get started. Okay, so the first book is actually a brand new release from last month. I was very lucky to have received an ARC for this book, and let's just say it was so good. I read it in one sitting. I started it at midnight on a Saturday, and I finished it by like 3:30 in the morning. It was that good. So the book is Unexpected by Elizabeth Aton, the name is right here. I just can't remember it right now. But this is going to be a single father rock star romance. It's pretty basic, with the fact that our heroine is a virgin, and at the beginning of the story she wants to lose her virginity to a random guy. Well, she happens to meet our rock star in a bar. They hook up. They go their separate ways. He has to go home and take care of his daughter. Our heroine, like I said, she goes about her life. She is very poor, like poor to the point where she loses her home and is living in her car. So you're gonna kind of see their separate journeys for months without each other. And then there's going to become a point in the book where they have to be reunited again. And like I said, I loved this story. It was very wholesome. It had some pretty heavy topics, but if you are looking for a great single father KU read, go pick this up. Okay, next on KU we have 1% of You by Michelle Gross. I'm so sorry if I said that wrong. This one is going to be a single mother trope. So basically, she, at the very beginning of the story, like first chapter, she has, I think, like a 3 or 4-year-old daughter, and she finds out that she's pregnant, and she's really excited. This is something her and her partner have been planning for. Well, she gets home from work that night, like she surprises him by getting off early, and she discovers that he is in their bedroom hooking up with her cousin. So the next chapter, you're gonna flash forward months later, and she is very heavily pregnant. She's living alone, taking care of her kids. Her partner, her ex, has basically bounced out, doesn't like see their daughter much anymore or anything like that. So she's taking care of her daughter on her own, expecting a new baby to be born. Well, she lives in these apartments, and next door to these apartments is a house that went up for sale. And in that house moves in our hero. And he is very grumpy. Their first encounter with each other, I believe they meet in the grocery store, and he gets into a fight over the last bag of chips with her daughter, and it's just the cutest thing ever. So this story, I really loved it because, you know, he did everything he could to try to help them out. You know, the relationship, like I said, between him and her daughter was so touching. I absolutely loved it. This was another really good, quick, easy KU read. Okay, then we have Broken French by Tasha Boyd. I'm actually currently reading this, and it's a goodie. It's giving me everything I like. So our hero, Josie, she is an architect living in, I think, North Carolina. At the very beginning of the story, she is passed over for a promotion because of sexism at her workplace. So she quits, and she finds herself becoming the nanny au pair for a Frenchman and his 10-year-old daughter. So she basically gets sent overseas to the south of France, and she's going to be living on a yacht for 6 to 8 weeks, taking care of his daughter. From what I've read so far, I absolutely love this. This is a slow burn, so if you don't like insta love, this is a good one. There is some spice. I love the nanny trope, especially when it comes to single parent romances, so yes, give this one a try. Unfortunately, this one is not on KU though, so that kind of sucks. Okay, then on KU we have Mr. Masters by TL Swan. I love TL Swan stuff. I haven't really found any yet that miss for me, so this is going to be another single father nanny trope. So Brielle, I believe she is from Australia, and she gets hired to become the nanny for a judge who lives in London. When she first arrives, she does not get along with the kids very well. There's 2 kids, and one of them is a teenage girl that is much older, and there is just a lot of clashing and a lot of headbutting. Julian, our hero, he's very grumpy. He's quite a dick. He has definitely some tragic trauma from his ex passing away and all of that you will learn later throughout the book. But this was just another really good one if you really like the rich kind of, like, not CEO, but like billionaire boss workplace vibes. This was another good one. Okay, then I have The Invitation by VI Keeland. Sorry once again. This is a single father romance. So basically our hero at the very beginning of the story, she comes home from work in her apartment and she discovers that there is an invitation that was delivered for her ex-roommate to attend a wedding. Well, she hated this roommate and she's like, you know what, this person owes me a good time. I'm gonna use their invitation and go to the wedding. Well, she arrives at the wedding and our hero discovers right away that she is impersonating someone. So he kind of tries to push her to see how far she'll keep up the act. And he pushes her so far as to her going on stage and making a toast. And the bride, who happens to be the brother of our hero, she is actually very flattered and she's very proud of our heroine for like going up on stage and doing this. So she reaches out to her, develops a friendship, and she invites her to come work for her company that she happens to share with her brother. So this is going to be a workplace romance. He has a daughter. Now there is like this side plot in here where our heroine, she has this hobby where she loves to thrift old diaries. Like she likes to buy people's old used diaries and read them. And so in this book, she's constantly reading this one diary, and some of the clues to the diary could relate to our hero. And it's just a really interesting twist and everything like that. But I loved this one. This was another fun read. Okay, and then we have another TL Swan book. This is probably my favorite TL Swan book ever, and that is The Takeover. This is the second book in the Miles High Club series, but they are companion novel series, so you don't need to read the first one to understand this, although I would recommend it because the first book is just as amazing. But this one is going to be a single mother trope, and our male, Tristan Miles, he hits up Claire, our heroine, at the very beginning of the story. Like I said, she's a single mother. She's a widow. She is a little bit older. I believe she's 37 and Tristan is 34. So her boys are older. She has 3 sons, and 2 of them are teenagers and one of them is a little bit younger. And so at the beginning of the story, she is desperately trying her hardest to keep her late husband's company afloat. And Tristan basically comes in from Miles Media and says, hey, let us buy you out. We can help save this, but she doesn't want to sell out. She just wants to do whatever she can to save the company. So that's how these two are going to meet. So it's not necessarily a workplace romance. It's just how they meet, and they have several like meetings and everything, and like conferences where they keep running into each other. The point for me where this book really started taking off was when Tristan first meets the boys. It's not exactly a happy picture perfect family moment. I was laughing my ass off so much with moments in these books, or in this book, and yes, so give this one a try. I absolutely loved it. It was different, and I think that's what I love so much about it. Okay, and then next we have To Hate Adam Connor by Ella Maise. Now this is technically the second book in a duology, but once again, you don't need to read the first book to love Jason Thorne to understand this. So our heroine, Lucy, she is the best friend of Olive, who is our main heroine in the first book. Lucy moves out of her apartment at the very beginning of the story, and she moves in with her best friend Olive and Olive's husband, Jason Thorne, who is a famous Hollywood actress. So obviously they live in, you know, the very wealthy neighborhoods where other famous people are going to live. And so one day Lucy is outside in the backyard and she is trying to spy on Adam Connor, who recently moved in next door. And while she is looking over the lawn hedge with her binoculars, she notices Adam's very adorable young son go out into the backyard by himself, and he falls in the pool. So Lucy immediately jumps over the fence and she saves him. However, instead of getting a thank you, Adam has her arrested for stalking. So this was an amazing, like, enemies to lovers banter. I tabbed and highlighted the ever-living hell out of this book. I absolutely loved it. I was obsessed with it. I think I'm gonna have to reread it again, but just the tension and the banter between Adam and Lucy was just chef's kiss. Can't beat that. Okay, then next we have a non-traditional single mother trope, and that is Wait For It by Mariana Zapata. So our leading lady heroine, Diana, she is not the mother of the boys. So what I want to start by saying is, so Diana is the aunt of her two young nephews. And before the story starts, her brother and sister-in-law have passed away, so she has been the guardian of these two boys for 2 years. So at the beginning of the story, they have actually recently moved into a new neighborhood, into a new house, and who lives across the street is Dallas. And Dallas is a very, very grumpy man. Like, he's not very nice. He hardly gives Diana the time of day. And well, things happen, and it turns out that Dallas is going to be her oldest nephew's baseball coach. So obviously these two, with being neighbors and him being the coach of her nephew, they are going to see each other all of the time. Now obviously this is a Mariana Zapata romance, so this is an extremely slow burn, but oh my goodness, was it worth it. I love Mariana Zapata books. Like, even the non-romance stuff, I love it. So like I said, I did marry a single father. My son does play baseball and my husband does coach. So a lot of these chapters were so relatable, especially with Diana sitting in the bleachers and being judged for her age and everything like that. It's something I relate to. And with the petty baseball moms, I felt her pain. And Dallas was just, oh my gosh, he was superior. I absolutely loved this book. So yes, go try this one if you love single moms and all that. Okay, and then last but certainly not least, because this is like my favorite book of all time, we have All Loads Right Here, also by Mariana Zapata. This is going to be a single father trope. His son is much, much older, so you're not really going to have those topics of taking care of children or anything like that in here. So basically, the very beginning of the story, our heroine, Aurora, is a recent divorcee. She finds herself moving back to her old town in Colorado that she grew up in. Well, she arrives in the summer in peak rental season, so she cannot find any place to stay. The only place that she finds to stay is like the garage apartment of some place. So when she arrives, she gets her keys, she gets settled and everything like that. Well, as she's unpacking, some very grumpy man bursts in and asks her what is she doing there. Well, it turns out to be Tobias Rhodes. He owns the house, and he learns that his teenage son put up the garage apartment for a rental because he thought his father was going to be gone all summer. So he thought, hey, I can make some money. My dad's not going to be here. So Tobias Rhodes is very adamant about kicking Aurora out. He's like, I don't want you here. I did not want to rent this property. She is beyond desperate. So she promises to pay triple the rate. After some back and forth, Tobias finally agrees to let her stay, but only for a month, and then he wants her gone. And during this month, obviously, development happens. This is another slow burn. I'm obsessed with this book though. So this book is very heavy with hiking and wilderness topics because Aurora, to honor her late mother, she wants to go hiking on all of her mom's old favorite trails. And so this has a lot of hiking references and scenes, and it made me want to go hiking myself. So I absolutely love this. This is an Infinity Star book for me. It also gives really good cozy fall vibes. If you're looking for some good cozy fall book recs, this is another good one. So I love this book. I will obsess over it till the end of time. Alright guys, well I hope you enjoyed some of those recs. If you've read some of them, let me know what you thought. If you have more, drop them down below. Like I said, single parent trope is my absolute favorite. So give me some more to read, please. And I will see you guys next time. Bye!